Hi friends and fellow intuitive academics, my name is Shelly and I'm an educator healer, and on this channel I draw from my intuition and my lived experience as a PhD to offer you guidance on your academic journey if you're on one, and also your life path. So that could tie into your career, your relationships, your spiritual path, anywhere that kind of shows up in the reading. And today I felt called to do a reading on this theme: how to let go of control and trust the universe. It's something that I've been trying to do lately, and I realized that the timing is really important for me to do this now. And I started to feel that this is applicable to more than just me as well. So I really wanted to do it at this time in that I'm recording in June 2024. And then also, as if you're on an academic journey, if you're a student, or if you're a grad student, or you're in academia, maybe early career stages also, I think it's conditioned into us that we kind of get rewarded for having control over our schedules, over our skills, and constantly improving. And I think it can be a little bit excessive, to the point that we overemphasize that aspect of I guess how we are productive, and how we are as productive individuals in society. So it's been a struggle for me to learn to let go of that. I have been able to, piece by piece, over the last few months, and it's been wonderful to let go, but very difficult because it's very much in my conditioning of how to be successful in the world and how to survive in the world. So I suspect that if you're here, you are having the same struggles and looking for ways to go forward with this. So this is going to be a pick a card reading, and I feel like I want to bring these 3 crystals in. Oh no, so there's going to be 4. And so you can already start to feel, possibly by the crystals, what might be calling you more than the others. And you could definitely skip ahead if you wanted to with 1, 2, 3, 4. In the mix, I'm going to also pull some charms. So we have a little bird in the first pile, a white flower, maybe it looks like a chrysanthemum or a peony in the second pile, another white flower which it looks like a cherry blossom, a sakura blossom, in the second pile, and then a green daisy in the in the third, with the sakura and daisy in the fourth. So I'm going to pull the cards now for each. So for pile 1, we have realign. For pile 2, we have number 21, wind, change. And the first one is number 6. For pile 3, we have 4, full spirit moon. And then for pile 4, we have summer solstice coming up soon, dear, nourish, number 32. So go ahead and pause the video if you need to kind of take a deep breath, take your time and reflect on anything that's pulling your attention toward you. And I will see you ahead in the reading that most resonates with you, or possibly more if you're really feeling split between more than one. Hi, reading one. So you were drawn to this card. Walk in a good way, realign number 6, as well as the moss agate. I always forget what this is called. I'll just call it a spike. There's a name for it. I have to look it up. And this little bird charm. And let me start with the birds. So I thought it was so cool that your card has this figure following the lead of an eagle down their pathway. And you also got the bird charm, so it's like double emphasis on this idea of you letting go of control and trusting the universe by following your guidance, following your signs, following your ancestors. They're the ones kind of leading you in the right way. And so you can let go of your control, so your need to control your direction in life, I would say, by putting your trust instead in them. And so that's very clear already. I'm sure we'll get more details as we go along. As I was reading that, the yellow flowers stood out. So I think yellow flowers are a sign for you for path alignment, of course, as well as birds. And then the moss agate is all about healing, and particularly associated with the heart chakra. And coincidentally, I have the heart chakra in the overall reading as well. So I think you're also going to be able to tap in and trust your heart, like follow your heart basically, as a way to trust the universe, let go of your own control. And I would say in your case, that sense of control comes from the mental space. And by trusting your heart, following your heart instead, that's how you're trusting the universe to follow through. Okay, so I didn't really have a plan, but I feel like I'm feeling drawn to this deck. So I'm just going to start here with you and see. I feel like I want to get 3 going down the middle. So we have Honorable Horse, Freedom, Leadership, Intuition, amazing. Swift Beast, Dashing Between Worlds, show me how you're daring and grace. Show me your daring and graceful ways. So you're definitely leading something in terms of, I feel like it's ideas and honor. Well, so like justice, ideas around justice, social justice specifically. And then it's amazing that you got intuition here, because that's what I was talking about here, is about you tapping into your heart space, your intuitive connection with your spirit guides and ancestors to take you down the right path. And of course it's horse, so an animal that can travel far and with great strength down their path. Mystical moth. Ooh, spirituality, psychic ability, passion. Wow, it's really coming in strong. Your intuitive and psychic abilities. I kind of feel like to round it out, you should get a card that says instinct, but we'll see what happens. And this says, Shimmering Maiden of the Moon, uncover the arcane knowledge I seek. So this is talking to me about like, kind of like our Akashic records, if you're interested in that, and like past life knowledge. I feel like that comes in an important way for you in your path. I'm going to be talking a lot about in this theme of the reading how to let go of control and trust the universe. For you, I'm going to be talking a lot about path alignment and following path, because that's clearly what's showing up in your reading as the main message. And then sensitive sloth, tranquility, tolerance, diplomacy, peaceful spirit of the trees, teach me stillness in the winds of change. Oh, interesting. It makes me think actually the signifier card for reading 2 has both the words wind and change. in it. So if you were drawn to that pile, you might have a message there. I haven't done the reading for it yet, but I feel like I had to mention that. Okay, do these fit? Perfect. Honorable horse, mystical moth, sensitive sloth. Oh, this is about your, sensitivity, your senses. Through your sensitivity. So this could be like empathic qualities as well. Intuition, psychic abilities, that could be like clairvoyance, and empathic sensing as well. These are key modes of guidance for you. Again, because you're following your guidance. Okay, let's see from this deck what happened. Stork, number 17. Fish, number 34. And Sun, number 31. Stork says change, transition, movement. It's time for a change. This new transition can take place literally or figuratively through personal growth. Either way, shake life up for movement. Fish. Abundance, wealth, finance. Abundance can mean more than material wealth. Emotional value can be greater than finance, and understanding the difference is a powerful lesson. And then Sun. Success, happiness, warmth. A source of light illuminates that which is hidden and brings success and happiness. The one who is blessed with the warmth of the sun ought to share it with others. Interesting. You have the sun here in your card as well. So with this stork and change being key in your reading, it looks like preparation, like doing your background research and preparing to ride the winds of change will be very important too. And again, you have another bird here to follow your guidance. So here it's saying that you are being guided to prepare. So I feel like that's one of those like gray areas where you feel like, oh, if I prepare though, am I stepping into control again? It doesn't look like that's the case in this reading. It looks like you're being guided to prepare. So trust that guidance. Fish and mystical moth. This one brings me back to the heart chakra. And knowledge is mentioned here again. And then passion is standing out to me as well as psychic ability. So this card, fish, was about abundance. And abundance being meaningful in two ways, like emotional abundance as well as financial. So I see you actually like getting really good at following your guidance to the point that you're able to like make some kind of career for yourself out of that. You're following your passion, you're following your heart to use your psychic abilities in some way, and your knowledge. You're very good at gaining knowledge. I feel like, I feel like that has come from your past of like your control tendencies, but your guidance today is saying that like keep that, like, these are skills. You have all these skills that came from what you've done in the past, and doesn't mean you have to chuck them out to let go of control. You just use them in a new way. You use them in coordination or collaboration with your guidance. And then you have the success here as well with the sun, success, warmth. Um, yeah, there's something about with diplomacy and your empathic abilities. I feel like you're able to share this light, extend it to others, going back to this possible like career in engaging your psychic abilities and your knowledge to mediate situations, to mediate difficult situations, particularly people going through intense transitions or change. So, like, I'm thinking like couples therapy, or, like people going through a difficult, say, I'm getting this message of like, a service where, like, say there's a family and the couple is going through a divorce, but they're trying to make it as less like as like non not as difficult as it has to be, like it has been in other examples in the past. And so like there's this extra service coming in to attend to like the emotional, the social side of what it means to be a family going through a divorce. And I see you in a role like that, similar. It doesn't have to be the exact, but it's like it's almost like this role that might not even exist yet, or if it does, like I've never heard of it, but that's the idea. Is like you're seeing a need for, and you're finding a way to heal, and you're like a leader in being able to do that. Yeah, and says dashing between worlds. I feel that as you dashing between the the physical realm, like the what's going on Earth, which is the divorce, for example, and then what's going on spiritually, which is people's spirits going through a difficult time. You're able to mediate and help people transition through things like that. And I see it in like collective settings, not necessarily one-on-one, but in collective, like couples or families, or like working teams, however that plays out. This is really interesting. Okay, so let's get some tarot cards in here to see. There's a lot here that was said about, of course, how to let go of control by trusting your guidance, and then also the benefits of what will happen when you do that. But I also want to see if there's any extra messages coming in about specifics. I think specifics would help in like signposting to reading one. How to go about this in like a practical way that fits in something significant in their life. Queen of Wands, Two of Swords, Seven of Cups, reverse. An Ace of Wands. So either you're already in some kind of leadership role and you're like a very charismatic, passionate leader. If you're not, then this is coming for you. You have the qualities in you, and I think you feel it already. You're probably working towards it. There's some situation where you get to a point of success in your leadership role and you kind of hit a block, and it's like you have a hard time making decisions one way or another. And you're going to have pressure on you to make a decision out of a lot of options. Basically, you as the leader, people are depending on you to be able to make the right decision. This is where you letting go of control with the Ace of Wands and trusting the universe instead is going to help you. Yeah, so this could be like you get too far, you get too deep into the analysis. You feel the pressure of trying to make the best choice possible by, like the tools available to you, maybe that you've been trained by in your education and your knowledge background, like weighing the pros and cons or reaching out to consultants, and you're doing all the background. You're doing like all the checklists, like everything right, but it's like you get to this point where it's like you still can't differentiate with making that choice. It's because you are really being called to. Do you see how the Queen of Wands is holding this really long wand in their hand? This is where it starts. You're grasping that wand. This is kind of like a signature to your leadership style going forward, is that you're going to embrace your intuitive, psychic, ability and empathic abilities to lead you towards the right decision. And I feel like it feels uncomfortable for you because you're not going to have the rationale all the time behind, like, I made this decision because XYZ. I think you are going to have to learn to step into your power, to kind of like rely on the privilege of that power that you don't always have to explain fully. And I can give an example. I really relate to this because I have like strong Sagittarian placements, and so I always identify with the Queen of Wands, which is which is a fire sign card, and I often know what decision I need to make by my intuitive abilities in my workplace, but I'm not going to say that to my colleagues. I'm not going to say I received a vision. That's why we need to do this. So what I do is that I get 1 or 2 points of support for why I think we need to make this decision, to make a case. It's not completely thorough because I'm not relying entirely on the data, right? It's more that whatever data supports what I know in my intuition and in my heart needs to be done. I'm going to use that to make a case, to speak the language in the physical to make that happen. So I just needed to share that with you to assure you that that you can still kind of like maintain your standing, your respect, your authority by making intuitive decisions. Yeah, let's keep going. Another message here. Oh, interesting. So you are going to be building something very soon. Building something important in this role in collaboration with others. And you're going to need to really engage that being led by your heart, that intuition, but it's blocked right now. And so like the pressure will be on you to make a fast decision. And the advice coming in here is that because when you develop your intuition, you'll be able to make very fast decisions. And the Lover's card is also called the Choice card. And these are very like significant life-altering choices. Whereas the Seven of Cups is like multiple options and you have to discern. This is about like making very big decisions that impact a lot of other areas, maybe a lot of people. And so this is the advice coming in. I feel like some of you are already facing this choice I feel like it's something that impacts both your workspace or study space and your personal life or home life. There's some way that it intersects. So it could be that you're like deciding like you have to move, and you might be moving away from your partner, or you have to move your whole family with you for this job opportunity. And there's a time pressure on it. Yeah, again, you have the birds here, all about just following that guidance so you can make the best decision you need to swiftly. I feel like if you're in this, you're already going back and forth in your head about like what's right, what's wrong, about the decision, what do I do? And sorry, I got distracted because I noticed that the fishes are also in the King of Cups like this. Yeah, I think I meant to say that there's a lot of prosperity and success, and what was the word with this? Abundance? Yeah, prosperity and abundance with being able to make your decisions from your intuition, from your heart. You can build this thing when you start acting in this way. I think also I'm getting the message that you're going to have to, because it's like you can't do it on your own. You need your spirit guides, and like your spirit guides like are here for this purpose. I feel like you in this group particularly like connect with angels, like you feel an affinity with angels just because there's so many wings. There's an angel here. It really gave me that impression. You can think of it that way too. Like angels aren't really my thing, but so I don't really know what to say beyond that, but like I feel like for you there's something about connecting with angels. Maybe you already have. Yeah. So I'm gonna say that is your message. Oh, by the way, as I was closing out, I looked again at the pile, the reading two card, which is an angel. So yeah, you if you're still here, you probably will want to check that out if you were drawn to it. And so I'm wishing you so much love on that journey, hoping you continue to work with love as well. If you're drawn to another card in the pick a card section, including the reading too, I will see you there. And if not, I'll see you next time. And thank you before you leave for any likes, shares, subscribes that you can share with me. Bye. Hi, reading two. So you were drawn to this beautiful card, number 21, Wind Change, which looks like an angel, like rising up through water with the sun in the background as well. There's like, I'm just really drawn to like the ripples around the figure. Like, I really can't tell what it is, but I feel like it's very significant, it's meaningful. And for me, I've been starting to like kind of interpret my energy sensing like empathically with others as like ripples, as waves like this. So I wonder if that is going to be significant about like energetic kind of sensing and being able to read different energetic waves to help you kind of navigate change and release control. Because if you see yourself as a bit needing control or feeling better with control, change can be very difficult, it can be very challenging for you. And so possibly being able to read the change energetically is going to help you let go of that control, because you know that you can navigate it. And it seems like the figure can absolutely navigate the change with their eyes closed, because they can feel what's happening around them. And so you're also drawn to this charm, which I think is a peony rather than a chrysanthemum because of the circular leaves of petals. And then this Larimar stone, it's kind of like pale green. And I was reading up on like the spiritual meanings of both. I was surprised to find they both mean slightly different things. Let me go through them. So the peony is about grace, hope, and patience. And the Larimar is about like the heart space and healing, but incredibly both had in common that they're about forgiveness. So I feel strongly that forgiveness is the key message from the combination of the two charms that is coming in for you. So how that kind of connects with what we picked up with the energy fields and forgiveness, I'm not sure yet. I think it'll come through in the cards. Before we start, I want to also read the description to you. I felt like that you might need to hear it. The winds of change are blowing today. What changes are calling to you that you have been resisting? This card comes forward to lead you in a new direction. You have been stagnant and stuck. You don't need to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. There are certain areas in your life where you are holding on tight. Controlling. Release the need to control the outcome of your life. It's interesting. Control the outcome is the thing that you're trying to control, is the outcome of your life. And let the winds take you to new heights. Oh, you're limiting yourself by trying to control the outcome. You have an opportunity to free yourself of the past and step into a more supported vision. You are reminded to ask for the help that you are so worthy of receiving. Oh, ask for help to help let go of control. Ask for help. The wind sweeps through to bring a huge release, and you are gifted wings to take flight and soar towards ease. So it's like when you ask for help and change comes, you will receive the wings, the navigation, the ability and the strength to be able to navigate that change. So you don't need to control it because you'll be given the tools to ride it out. The energy is quickening all around you. Time is speeding up. As you let go, you are able to move in a new direction faster than ever before. Allow this wind spirit to lift you up so that you may release all that is heavy and holding you back. Be free. And the healing affirmation says, I allow the winds of change to carry me toward a new and aligned direction. Interesting. So just yesterday I pulled a single card, this yesterday, 2 days ago, pulled a single card to ask about making kind of an emotional and significant decision for myself, about me showing like my spiritual side to another person that I trust. But still, I have karmic stuff to work through about sharing my voice and revealing my abilities. So it was very difficult. But I pulled this card, 21 Wind and Change, and it felt very clear to me that if I wanted to go anywhere with my spiritual side that I'm embracing and identifying with and obviously building this channel with, then I need to allow change to kind of sweep me into that direction. I don't need to do the work alone by my own legs, I'm realizing now. So as I was thinking of this reading today, I thought like, wow, wouldn't it be like such an appropriate card if this one came out, and it did. And so I knew that this would be a message for me as well. So hello, I'm here with you in this reading number 2. I'm not any further down the line in terms of letting go of control than anyone else watching probably. So let's get the message for us in this reading. We'll start with some tarot cards and then we'll bring in some oracles. What can we do in reading 2 to help us let go of control and trust the universe? I mean, besides the beautiful message. Also, how does forgiveness connect into that process for us? Excuse me. The Hermit reverse. So this is kind of what I said about coming out to reveal yourself, honing your craft, speaking your truth, but also letting the truth lead you. Letting your truth lead you. And there's another angel wings coming up here. Oh, another angel wings. Temperance reverse. Temperance reverse. That's interesting. I feel like we need one more. Four of Swords reverse. So the first thing I'm noticing is that the suns in each of these reverse cards, the Temperance, by the way, Temperance is number, what is this, 14? I feel like that's it standing out. Temperance and the Four of Swords is, I'm seeing it as a connection to the Pentacles in the Eight of Discs card. So the Eight of Discs is about like doing the work. I feel like you're already in this space of, you've been soul searching, you've been doing the work, however that looks like to you. You've been showing up for yourself, basically supporting yourself in like a significant way, connecting into your abilities, learning more about yourself. Self-awareness is coming in strong. But I see that because the Pentacles are drawing me to these suns, I see these as the things that that you can work on next, that you can still develop as you're doing the work. So the Temperance card, I almost want to read the description from this guidebook, but I'll just go off of my knowledge first. The Temperance card, if you're coming from reading 1, here's the yellow flowers again. I think that's significant again for you. The Temperance card is all about being able to balance the knowledge, the passion, the intuition, and like the knowledge in like the physical world, the social knowledge. It's not just about like exploring and learning, because this is a Sagittarian card, which is all about like expansion, philosophy, exploring. It's not just about gathering the information. For here, I really feel like it's about processing the information and integrating the information in multiple ways, like multiple dimension ways, integrating the physical with the spiritual with the emotional. It's like the meaning starts to come through more through the integration than the collection of that knowledge. So for example, like I just looked up what this crystal, the meaning, the properties of the crystal and the meaning of the peony, right? But it was the integration of those knowledges, the forgiveness, the crossover in the meaning for forgiveness, that really was the communication that needed to happen, which really it was the important part of what I needed to learn from this. I hope you see what I'm saying, how it's the integration of the knowledge that you're mastering now that's really going to help you. I don't see yet how that answers our question specifically, so I need to keep going. The Four of Swords is about being able to pause and rest, and basically it's a self-care card. So this one's more obvious to me, that you still need to work on your self-care. Rituals, habits. You need to like make more of a what's the word? It's like a schedule. I can't even remember the word. It's so not present in my life. I can't even remember the word for it. But you need to kind of just like schedule this in and make it like a habit for yourself, to take care of yourself in, I'm seeing 4 very key ways. So doesn't mean like go and meditate every day if that's not gonna like resonate with you. It means more like, and this is something that has worked for me better, is that like I do a variety of short timed things. Like I'll do like a version of meditation, which is more like you don't close your eyes and you just kind of let your eyes fall onto things around you. So I'll go into a natural area and just like observe, say, trees, but I won't call them trees. I'll like just observe the colors and the shapes and the movement, and that's a way to kind of like meditate, to like slow, to ground myself and to slow the process in the brain. So that I only do that for like 10 minutes. There are other like somatic things that I integrate in that only take 10 minutes. And so for you, you could do like 4 things, like 2 things in the morning, 2 things in the evening, and it'll create like this cycle for you that help mediate the extremes. So this is another thing that's coming in as you like kind of showing up and doing the work next. How to let go of control and trust the universe. You need routine. That's the word. You need routine. That's how you can let go of control and trust the universe, through routine. That's interesting. Because routine, you would think, kind of feels like a mode of control, right? But it's more like you're taking, instead of having 2 hands on the steering wheel, you're taking 1 hand off with the routine and you're letting the universe come in with the other hand. Because it's like once you have the routine, it's like the universe can show up for you in your routines. Oh, this is so interesting. This is going to be hard for me since this is my pile. The universe can show up for you in that way. That's so interesting. The Prince of Swords. Yeah, this is similar. This is drawing us back to the wind. It's going to help you soar to new heights with the things that you need to do. Also with truth seeking. It's going to give you that lift that you've been needing and wanting. And you have the little like energetic waves here again, navigating them again. Interesting. So I feel like I want to keep just pulling from here. So let's see if there's another message here. 7 of Cups reverse, the Star reverse, High Priestess reverse, Prince of Cups, and 3 of Cups reverse. Why is everything reversed except the Prince of Cups? Oh, so this is following what I just said. The Prince of Cups is basically the universe coming in partnership with you, the Prince of Swords, to work together. And basically, the universe is sending you a direct message that if you can get these routines of self-care and integration going for yourself, then I can come in as the universe and help you shift all these things in your life that you really want. So it will help you discern between multiple paths. I feel like multiple options. I feel like sometimes you might feel a little bit overwhelmed or lost about where to go, because there's a lot of potential in a lot of directions. The universe will like be able to come in and help guide you towards the right one. The universe can come in and work with you to help manifest dreams that you have. And I feel like there's one dream in particular right here with the star in the middle, and then like peripheral dreams, but like they're really it's weird energy. It's like they're really trying to sell you to trying to convince you to do this routines by by saying you could get this one dream that you want. So you know in your heart exactly what this is. And then connecting to your intuitive abilities, the universe will help facilitate this better. You can come into your power in that way. I'm feeling it with this message, particularly to like help defend yourself against others, or feel more powerful amongst others who might be like taking your power away. And it will help with your like-minded people, connecting to the right social connections, feeling that celebration and joy, like getting into that togetherness vibe, feeling safe in it. Yeah, getting into a safe community. That's coming through for someone. Yeah. Okay. So basically, yeah, your message is that when you continue to show up for yourself, you don't need to do the soul searching so much anymore. You can work on these things, the self-care, the integration, learning to integrate your knowledge to find meaning, and integrating your knowledge with what the universe can offer. Basically accepting a partnership with the universe to help shift all these things in your life. Again, you got the change card, so like this is the way change is going to happen. It's in a very positive, beautiful way, lifting you to the next level that you've been trying to get to. I feel like maybe you've been struggling to get to the next level in some way. It's going to look different for everyone, but this is really the thing that's going to like lift you there. We have some time, I think. We can get just like maybe one or two of these, whatever comes out. Loving lobster, simplicity, steadfastness, safety. Curious creature exploring deep waters, guide me to a new discovery. Since I said the word safety here, I want to put it here. I'm actually going to read you. A sea creature who likes to take it slow. The lobster is all about simplicity and life. Invoke lobster energy for steadfastness and safety. Yeah, I think simplicity stood out there as well as safety. It's also like I'm feeling the image of a lobster kind of like crawling on the ocean floor while the waves above kind of like, you know, are doing a lot of motion. The lobster is just on the floor kind of making its own way, skirting underneath all of that change, basically. Yeah, you'll be able to navigate whatever's coming to you very well. You're gonna like go with deep waters. You're gonna go somewhere that you've never gone before. Like spiritually and emotionally for sure, but it could be like physically to another place as well. And you're going to discover something. It's going to really excite you, and it's going to be pretty significant to how your life goes forward. Oh, okay, let's just do all of these. See what comes through. 35 anchor, 19 tower, 6 clouds, 16 star, another star, and 7 snake. This is interesting. The first one, anchor, says security, resilience, restraint, steadfastness, the same word as the lobster. I mean, it is the same creator as this deck, but that steadfastness is an interesting word that keeps coming through. But similar meanings with the anchor and the lobster. So I think this is bridging that message down here to a new message that stuff is gonna go down. Clouds reminds me of the winds of change, but in the meaning, it meant in the interpretation, it meant like lack of clarity. Some like mystery. Where did it go? Doubt, confusion, and secrets. That's happening. The snake I know is about like oh here, desire, ambition, deception, and then what's the tower? Authority, boundaries, solitude. And then the star is hope, optimism, inspiration. So there's kind of some intense things happening here. And I feel like your community in specific is going to anchor you through this. So it is the last card that came out in this message. So do this work and start working with the universe to like flip these attributes around. Get your kind of path in a good place so that you're kind of like secure and you can like ride out this change that's coming. Particularly get to the point where you secure your community, your like-minded people, people who are going to be there for you. How do I describe what I'm saying? It's like this, it doesn't, of course, like family and friends, but this is more like, it could be like a spiritual community that are going to get you. They're going to have a unique ability to get what you're going through. I feel like this is coming in the future. So that's why you need to get to that point to have that community in place. And you will. Just keep showing up and do the work. I think they're going to help with this lack of clarity. They're going to help protect you by building boundaries. They're going to help give you hope. And then the snake, I'm actually not going to take the interpretation in the book. I'm reading this as transformation. At the end of this is ultimately leading to a significant transformation of yourself spiritually. I'm wondering if this is a peony. Spiritually as well as like your physical identity as well. A strong desire can be wielded like a blade. It may also lead to demise through greedy ambition. Watch for signs of self-serving behavior such as deception. Let's say that this is a peony and it really looks like one. I'm looking at one on Google. This brings us back to that message of forgiveness. So forgiveness will be your strength over this deception that's happening in your life. These secrets, I'm sorry to say, is happening in your life. But it does happen, yeah. But you have your guidance here on how to kind of prepare for that. So how to let go of control and trust the universe. You trust fall into others. You trust fall into the universe, and you trust fall into your like-minded community. You let them do the work of protecting you. Beautiful. You let the universe do the work of lifting you to your next heights. And I'm wishing you so much love on that journey, hoping you continue to work with love as well. Thank you for any likes, shares, subscribes that you can offer. And if you're drawn to another card in the pick a card reading, then I will see, or pick a card section of the reading, then I will see you in those readings. If not, I'll see you next time. Hi, reading 3. So you were drawn to this card, the Full Spirit Moon Shine, number 4, as well as the Cherry Blossom, or Sakura is just how I always know it, flower charm, and the Amethyst Stone. So I was actually spent part of the first part of my childhood in a Japanese American community, and I strongly remember that that cherry blossoms held such symbolic meaning in like as we progress through the year. So like, you know, in school you start to learn about like holidays and seasonal transitions, and you start to develop kind of that experience of going through the years, going through life, and returning back to certain seasons. And the Cherry Blossom Festival would always come up in the spring, so towards the end of the school year for us. And it was just like such a time of like excitement, and it was intense too, because we like prepared for the festivities. We often did performances, and a lot was built around this little cherry blossom flower. It's actually the national flower of Japan. I just remembered as I was looking up the cherry blossom. And so from my own memory, I remember, I can't remember exactly like the mythologies we were taught in school, but or the stories, but I remember associating it with like delicateness, that like I think especially because the cherry blossom season is kind of like the autumn season in the northern hemisphere. Like you have this like changing colors of the leaves, and it's very temperate, it's very, very beautiful, but it doesn't last forever. And it's the same in the spring with the cherry blossoms. All the cherry blossom trees will bloom, and it'll last for a few weeks, and then it's gone already. So it kind of always kind of lingered in my memory as this sense of delicateness, but also like it's like a flare of energetic brightness entering the springtime. It's just a plant, right? It's just a flower, but it has this magnetic pull, so that like whole societies build their customs around it. I thought it's just like so interesting. And I did look up the spiritual meaning, and it does have meanings of like life, death, renewal, impermanence, and just kind of appreciating like the beauty but the impermanence of life. So I feel like this is where you're at in your reading. I think it's very appropriate, again, as I totally forgot, but I'm remembering that the theme of this reading is how to just trust the universe, how to let go of control. And so embracing seasons and impermanence is going to be key here. With the amethyst, this is about healing and wisdom, and especially like intuition, connecting to your intuition. And I feel like that is going to be an important part in terms of this keyword of impermanence. And wisdom is going to be key. I'm not totally sure yet. I think it'll come through in the cards. And then last year, full spirit moon shine. So something I first noticed is it's number 4, which is the number of building foundations, building security, which is, it feels very counter to the idea of impermanence, right? But I think it's intentional, so that you can start to balance out your need for security, which is probably where your tendency for like needing control is coming from. Balance that out with appreciating that security and safety can still come in impermanence of, you know, transitioning through seasons. And this is really going to let you shine. This is really going to let you bloom. This was a key kind of message I felt just like meditating on these 3, that you're meant to kind of like release these anxieties over control, so that you can shine in the world, so that you can shine, but like not hold on to that as a permanent part of your identity. Like maybe you shine in this way right now, and it's meant to be right now, it's very timely and it's meaningful right now, but not to get too attached to it, because we're all always changing, and you're going to change again into something else later on to shine again. Yeah, so I don't usually like read little accidents like that, but that one just knocked the amethyst to point to the card for reading 2. So you might be, if you're drawn to that, you might be interested in hearing that message as well. Okay, so let's get into your reading, and I felt like curiously tempted or like persuaded to only use oracle cards in your reading. I think this is actually not technically oracle cards, but I also felt drawn to use this. It feels more like oracle cards for me. So I'm just gonna start pulling. Actually, I kind of just want to like pull everything first and one around, and then go through them all in their piles. Never read like this before. Weirdly, in all the piles so far, I have been going out of my norm of reading, and I wonder, I'm realizing now maybe that's my lesson also, to just let go of control and trust the universe in doing this reading. So lesson number 1 for me. Okay. Yeah, I just want to keep going, and I wonder how this will turn out, actually. Ooh. I think that's just one from this one. Is that it? Oh no, I forgot 2 more. Oh my gosh, that was actually a lot of cards. Okay, last one. Oh, this is gonna be so different, but I'm excited for it. Okay, so let's start here. So we've got man, tree, so man number 28, tree number 5, woman number 29, clover number 2, and tower number 19. So interesting. I didn't read yet the descriptions of these cards from the guidebook, but I'm really getting like building something together in a partnership. And this could be like a relationship that you're in. It feels very mature, like building a home together, growing something together. If you see it on the tree, there's actually like faces of the moon growing on the tree, and it makes me think about like growing community, growing children together. There's something very it's funny because we're talking about stability and security. It feels like you're growing stability and security together with this person in an impermanent world, but you're finding that sense of security with this person and what you build together. I really think your guidance is leading you to focus to plant your sense of security in this partnership, because there's a lot to be gained there for you, specifically in this partnership. And I think there's a lot for you to learn about feeling secure, safe, and stable in this partnership that you're in. I get the sense for some people watching that this is a long-term partnership, and there's a lot of projection on the partnership about trust issues and insecurities about say like divorce, but it's coming from it's being informed by, like, say, childhood experiences. And yeah, I just realized that I'm probably pulling in childhood because of, I guess that was a key message coming through the cherry blossom flower, which inspired me to talk about my childhood. Your childhood is playing into the mix somehow. With clover, I read this as like a wreath on the home. So it's like for me, that symbolizes it's not just a house. It's like somebody lives here and somebody cares. This is your home. Um, that's really what I'm getting from here. I'm going to quickly look at the descriptions to see if it changes or adds to anything. Tree says wisdom, spirituality, growth. Wisdom is grounded in what came before. Take the holistic perspective in terms of spirituality. Consider situations of the past to have grown in the future. Interesting. So, wisdom is coming up again, like in the amethyst. You are, yeah, like I said, there's some maturity here. There's some wisdom coming through at this point in your life. You can start, like, integrating knowledges that you've gained through the years to give you a happy life right now, and of course to trust the universe in what comes next. The other thing is, consider situations of the past to have to have growth in the future. Sorry, I read that wrong the first time. It's consider situations of the past to have growth in the future. And that's exactly what I was bringing in with some kind of projection or some kind of action around this home life and this partnership that is like not doesn't need to be informed anymore by the fears of your past, because there's a lot of stability here. There's a lot of beauty. Of course, like nothing lasts forever. This is also impermanent, but you can, at least in the moments you have this, really free yourself to feel the stability happening in this home situation that you have. Interesting. Okay. Oh, I don't need to shuffle anymore. Oh, interesting. Another maturity card coming in. Crone. Lunar eclipse. And fall. That's so funny that I was talking about the fall before as this other example of seasonal change, of things only, like these fall colors coming together only briefly. Just the same with the cherry blossoms. So there's some kind of like secondary meaning happening here with that. So I want to read you the kind of the meanings here. Sorry, I got distracted because I just noticed there's lotus flowers in each of these cards. I'll look up quickly what those mean, the spirals as well. But because flowers are so strong, I'm going to look up specifically the lotus flower. I think I remember that lotus flower represents something about emerging from undesirable circumstances into this beautiful lotus blossom, because the lotus kind of grows from these muddy waters, and then it kind of blossoms above the water, and it creates this beautiful, again, like pink flower. But let me just focus on these cards first. So I want to read you the affirmations from each. For crone, it says, I accept myself. Lunar eclipse says, I embrace my shadows. And then fall says, I am divinely supported. And I thought I thought the crone was more anchoring the message of these three, also bridging the message here about maturity, wisdom coming through. So I want to read this one to you and then use these as like modifiers or contextual kind of information. These two kind of came in with similar messages. So lunar eclipse was about acknowledging your shadows so that you can accept them and release them. And fall was about accepting the changes in energy levels, so that like you can't necessarily operate at the high energy level of the summer anymore. It's like acknowledging the limitations or the seasonality there and just letting that be and letting yourself rest, because that is what the season is calling you into. A lot of like seasons, a lot about calling you to understand seasons that and how they play out in your life, to be able to read the universe and trust the universe through the seasons that appear. And I just realized that is also your way of finding stability in the universe, is that there are seasons. You do know that you're growing, and you're growing spiritually, intellectually, and physically. You're transitioning all the time. You do know that, like, that's something you can count on. You do know that the seasons change every year and that moons have phases. So the universe is calling you to accept and acknowledge the things that you do find a sense of permanence in, while letting go, while freeing yourself from trying to feel permanence in everything that doesn't necessarily like need to have that sense of permanence. So I'm going to read you crone. It says, I accept myself. The ancient wisdom of the crone is grown from a lifetime of learning, of living and observing, of devotion to the cycles of birth, life, death, and decomposition. It is a wisdom steeped in a commitment to self-transformation. The crone's medicine lies in the acceptance of all that is, a bone-deep acknowledgement of the seasons, phases, and fluctuations that define the experience of being human, recognizing not only the pleasure but also the pain of what makes this existence ripe with wonder. Yeah, wonder came through here too. It's like accepting the world as you have been observing it, to allow yourself to experience that wonder rather than trying to make it something it's not. She reminds you that welcoming the full spectrum of being human is the surest road to a liberated life. And that's precisely what she has to offer, liberation. This is an invitation to embrace your human magic, the dark, the light, the present moment, and all that's beyond your mortal senses. Relinquish the need to understand and then release the notion of what has been or should be, to find ease with what just is. And your prompt is, what aspects of myself are seeking acceptance? That comes back very strongly here for me. The last sentences. Relinquish the need to understand and then release the notion of what has been, the childhood or the past informing your current situation, or what should be, kind of like operating by these like ideals of like, my life should look this way in order for me to be happy. That's also in the mix here. And this card is calling you to like release that and just find ease with what just is, because I can tell you it feels beautiful to me. Like feeling this energy feels so cozy. And I'm not saying that you're like not grateful for it or anything, but I'm saying that I think you don't see it fully because you're caught up in this idea of what has been in the past and what should be in the future, and it feels like you're missing out. Yeah, I can only like tell you that I feel this by comparison to what I'm being shown is times that I've had very unstable situations, And and what this feels like to me is like a dream come true. Like like it almost seems like fantasy to me from what I'm being shown from that time period where things were unstable. And you have that. I just wanted to validate you that you have something beautiful here. That there was a point in my life I didn't think that this existed, but you have this. Yeah, I just want to like congratulate you also for having that. I feel like it took a lot for you to get there, but I also want to help free you. You know, through this is through spirit, communicating you now, communicating to you that so that you can enjoy it, that you can feel it, because you have it, but in a sense you don't have it because you're not feeling it. Yeah. Okay, let's keep going. Two spirit diversity, 40, another 4 coming in here. This bit here? Oh yeah, perfect. And number 5, seer, prophecy. Interesting. With the amethyst, there's really a connection here. Being able to see. Okay, this is interesting coming in. So you might be part of a household in the situation that is considered like diverse in some way, or I really hate this term, like deviating from the norm. I would say like it diverges from expectation, like societal expectation in some way. And there's 2 different examples coming in, so you can see like which camp you're in. For one, this is very like fear inducing for this group, let's say this is group A. This is very fear inducing because they have really spent time trying to like cultivate their identities around the norm. And then so in this example, say I do have one example coming in of like, say, a parent. Say you are the parent and you have a child who is identifying in a like a non-conforming way, and you don't really know how that fits in, and it's troubling your sense of stability. This is another branch of that example of you being a parent. This is another message coming in that you have a child that is kind of like exhibiting behavior that doesn't fit the norm in some way, and that is because they have like strong seer abilities that I think they might be scaring you because they like see things, and they do say things because they can see. That's I really feel like that's a message for one person in specific. And so same message though, that kind of upsets your sense of security and stability because there is this diversity happening in some way. It could be identity, it could be with just like natural abilities that don't fit the narrative of the society you're in, and it's kind of hard to like navigate that within your family and within society as well. Okay, so that's group A. Group B is what is like you already embrace and identify as like a diverse household. It could be something like a blended family kind of household, and you have learned to do things in the way that works for you, even if it doesn't fit society's expectations. this would just be a reassurance for you that I feel that sometimes that gets hard. Sometimes you find yourself explaining to others a lot and it wears you down, no matter how solid the core is. And I feel like there's like 3 or 4 of you, 3 to 5. I feel like 3 to 5 in this core family or household unit, and you're supporting each other so well. You're holding the strength so well, but it does wear down, and I think you're feeling it and you're not communicating it out of trying to protect the others, but it's scaring you. And this is a validation for you that you're right to be doing, you're right to be loving the way that you're loving, you're right to be building the way that you're building. This is what's coming through. You're the wise one in this situation. Even if it's hard, just remember that, and trying to like loop in the impermanence again and trusting the universe. I really feel like, not that this behavior will pass, it can, and hopefully it will, by society towards you and your unit, your household, but more that the pain that it causes you will pass and it won't affect you as much anymore. So there's the seasons is coming through in that way, in how it affects you mentally and emotionally and spiritually. So strong. Yeah, I feel a lot of inner strength coming through here. The great severing. Mars energy, anger, conflict, softening to love. Since this is just one card, I feel like I need to read this to you. This is a shadow card, one that may feel confrontational. Don't be afraid. It's here to bring you to the surface anything that's standing in the way of letting love in. The warring planet of Mars is our constant reminder that it's important to soften, forgive, and find our way back to love. There are many things in the human experience that make it difficult for our heart and soul to stay open to the never-ending source of love. We're all wounded, and our unconscious wounds inflict wounds on others. Yeah, drawing me back here again. It can feel like a never-ending dance we can never escape. Yeah, that came through here. If we aren't careful, before long we'll see the world as a scary, dangerous place where fear and anxiety roam free. Back to your sense of security as the main theme. If this card surfaces, it could be for 2 reasons. Firstly, for you to acknowledge the difficult emotions, situations, conflicts, wounds, and fears that are causing you pain and anxiety. And secondly, for you to find your way back to love. So that's your antidote, really. Find your way back to love. Soften yourself back to love. When we're hurt, it's normal to close off our heart to the world, to let the painful experience confirm the agony of separation and earthly life. Soften and find your way back to love anyway. When fear, anxiety, and paranoia paralyze you, it's normal to want to hide away from others and the world. Come out of your cave and soften your heart anyway. We're all innocent children spinning our way around the world. Find a way to see the innocence in all people, especially yourself. Interesting that innocence, that childhood experience keeps coming back. Yeah, so this is giving me an idea of how meaningful this will be for you to shine as yourself, because you've been locking yourself away from fear for a long time, out, like rightfully because of the way others have treated you. But you're seeing this reading now because you have matured. You're in a different place now, and you do have the opportunity to shine as your true self in strength and for your own fulfillment now. That's really coming through. The great severing, I feel like, speaks to you separating from society to protect yourself. And that might be what's going on here, building this home unit to build a protective environment to protect yourself from society. But you are being called to try to heal your own wounds by returning to love, self-love, and feeling the love from those around you, and then to be able to re-enter the world through a pathway of love for others again, however you find yourself able to do that. Playful penguin, whimsy, community, loyalty, sanguine spirit of the snow, teach me the value of family and friends. Orderly owl, mastery, logic, discernment, solitary watcher of the night, give me a sacred vision in the moonlight. So this is a way for you to bring yourself back into society with whimsy, community, playfulness. Feeling the value of those playful connections with others first, that will ignite you. This is for the group A that has the child that is a seer, that has seer abilities. You're going to get some answers and some insights and some guidance from your child. So you can listen to what they're telling you. It's going to help you. I'm going to go through the rest of these kind of faster so that we're not here forever. Brave bat, perception change, flexibility, sacred messenger of the night, grant me courage to face the dark inside, right? This is all lining up again. Same messages coming through. Frolicking fox, cleverness, deduction, perseverance. Warrior wolf, intelligence, instinct, protection. Humble honeybee, work ethic, camaraderie, drive. Strength to realize my dreams. Oh, there's clovers here again. It was just finding a space for this, and the clovers lined up here. And the insects in the middle. Oh, to think about this. So Clover says, good luck, joy, prosperity. The shamrock is a sign of good luck. It's time to relax, find the joy in life's pleasures, discover the prosperity that lies in store for those who treasure each day. Oh, yeah, that's such a great message for here. Appreciating what you have, treasuring each day, and that's where you find your joy. How does it match up with the honeybee? A cute insect who has a work ethic matched by no other. The honeybee symbolizes camaraderie and has exceptional drive to help the community. Oh, like maybe volunteering or community work and showing your love that way is going to be a great bridge for you back into your community connections. Right, community shows up here too. It's very strong. So so I see the message here is re-entering community through the right avenues that fit you and that reignite your love for others, but also tapping into insight and discernment, acknowledging your shadows, and continuing to protect your unit outside of these four walls and in society, through your instinct, through your cleverness to keep them protected. It's like you're able to re-enter to society because you don't need the four walls of your home to protect you anymore. It's almost like you build an energetic bubble of protection through your cleverness and your intuition and your discernment, and move that through society so that you and your family can be safe in society because of the protections you put up there socially and energetically and emotionally. I would say you teach your family how to protect themselves as well. That's coming through in this set. Okay, so let's get your final cards in here. Snake and Fern with starting over, number 34. The Moth and Eucalyptus and ending, number 13. I mean, really hitting you over the head with this one. Embracing change, letting new beginnings happen, letting things end is really important. And often when I see these cards coming together, and I have been for or cards like this in other decks coming together, I see this as an ending. Means it's like the other side of a coin of a starting. It's like the two are the same. So I feel like there's a starting over that you're hoping for. It could be the other way around if you're hoping for the end of something that's causing you a lot of pain. But if you're hoping for like a starting, the other side of the starting is the ending. So something has to end to initiate that start. Basically, the two are interconnected. The Owl and Hop Wisdom. You got Wisdom again, number 22, and that's about partnerships and pairing. Wisdom is so key. Let me tell you, it's coming in strong. You're at some stage of your life that you feel like you're kind of a different person than you used to be. And let me tell you, if you're doubting the wisdom that you have gained, it's really strong. You have a strong amount of wisdom. Don't discount that. And you're being called to use it, to engage it right now. It's really important for you to accept the wisdom you have, acknowledge, like take an inventory of the wisdom you have. I think you're not really reading it as wisdom. For some reason you're dismissing it, but that's really going to be important for you going forward to know what you do know. I have the feeling that I want to reserve our last two cards for you to ask a question and then get an answer to it. So you can pause the video if you need to take time. And just think of some question that this all has brought up for you, and then these cards will be an answer, okay? Okay, so I'm going to pull the cards now for your answer. You have the Ram and Dahlia, Determination. I think that's number 50. I have to check. And then Doberman Pinscher, Daring, Dependable, Gritty. These have similar energies to me about so there's definitely a repetition of the letter D with so many words starting with D here. So if your answer that you have some kind of question in your mind, there could be like a name that starts with D or a place that starts with D that you're deciding between. That would be your answer. You also have like a don't give up message coming in here. So if you've been like really holding out for something, don't give up. That's your answer. Embrace these qualities within you that are determined, that are gritty, daring, dependable. That's going to get you through to the final bit. And for some people, I think there's someone who looks tough on the outside, but they're actually very dependable and like solid in their personality. Um, and so if you're like unsure about this person, like they're kind of like a tough nut to crack, I get the answer that you can depend on this person for whatever you're asking about. Yeah. And then I love that we're ending on pink, is what we started with the cherry blossom. So I think that'll be a key color for you looking forward. So you had a ton of cards. You had a lot of message coming through. I won't hold you any longer. But I am wishing you so much love on your journey and hoping you continue to work with love as well. Thank you for any likes, shares, subscribes you can offer. And if you're drawn to another card in the pick a card section, then I'll see you in that message. If not, I'll see you next time. Hi, reading four. Welcome to your reading. So I was so excited to start your reading. First of all, because I've never pulled this summer solstice card, and I'm actually recording this very near the summer solstice. And I just thought it was so cool that it popped up now, and actually maybe so significant that it popped up now, so close to the summer solstice for the first time. I've had this since, I think I've had this for maybe like 7 months or so, this deck. And so it's like perfect timing. And I'm already seeing a ton of synchronicities come in. So you have actually the stone of the solar plexus chakra, which is all about your sense of self and your sense of power, especially in like a social way, in an identity sort of way, of how you belong in the world and move about with others, or among others. And then I happen to have in everyone's reading this heart chakra crystal. And so like the yellows and the greens are really coming through for your reading, especially with the daisy, which is all green and yellow as well in your charm. And then the solar plexus chakra has an image of like a sun. So it's all about like that. I'll say like the more what's associated with like that divine masculine energy, which is about like kind of pushing things forward, doing things, putting yourself out there, like cultivating your sense of self. Yeah, I mean, I always feel like as a feminist, like uncomfortable explaining things in those ways, but that's the way I've learned it, and I'm still kind of experimenting with it. So do with that information what you will, but that is something I'm picking up here. I don't often say it, and because it's coming through now, I felt to say it. I also think this deer might be a male deer because of the horns. So there is something with the divine masculine or masculine energies and embracing those. No matter how you identify in your gender in this reading. And then the last thing is that, yeah, so I was saying the sun is represented in the card, especially with the summer solstice in the northern hemisphere, the longest day of the year. The time that the sun is with us the most, if you're there. Yeah, so here is your reading answering how you can let go of control and trust the universe. And so the first message is this is going to be happening right now. This is like a very key moment right now. Whenever you hear this message, it's a timeless reading, but I get the sense that I want to say right now because I am recording this in June, and the summer solstice is about 20 days away. I want to actually read you the message, and I want to read you the healing affirmation first because I thought it was so beautiful. So your healing affirmation that you can embrace is, I celebrate my success and the forward movement of my dreams. I care for myself deeply as I pour my light into the world. So I actually didn't realize this when I read this the first time, but I'm realizing now that you might have like light worker energy, light worker dreams. You have some kind of like humanitarian spirit in you, and you feel like the drive to cultivate something for the benefit of humanity in the world. I think you don't always know what that is, but you're at this point now, I think, where you've actually manifested something, and you surprised yourself at how it came together, and you're stepping into your power. You're realizing your power now. Um, yeah, so also Gemini or Cancer signs might be specific or might be significant to you in this reading as well. But let me read this. So summer solstice, number 32, Deer. Nourish, a time of nourishment, growth, and blossoming. You are shining in your glory with the season of summer all around. The seeds you have planted are now sprouting in great abundance, and you are asked to tend to them with intention and care. Your dreams have come to fruition, and the medicine of this card asks you to celebrate how your hard work has paid off. So it's all about like caring for yourself, looking at your successes, and celebrating. That's pretty exciting. Deer moves into your sacred space, reminding you that self-care is especially important at this time. With your visions moving into reality, there is much to do, and the spirit animal is here to make sure you are caring for your body, mind, and spirit during this busy cycle. I feel like that's key for you, caring for yourself in all these dimensions, body, mind, and spirit. There is much sweetness blessing you, and you are asked to soak it all in as you see what you have created. Take some time to reflect on what is in alignment and contributing to your success, and let go of the rest. For your energy is a precious, limited resource. Move into the glow of the summer sun and take up your space in the spotlight. That's so great. Such like exuberant kind of energy coming through. And part of the self-care message is about protecting your energy. And I feel like protecting your light that you bring into the world as a light worker is going to be important, especially at this time as you're coming into your power, and you don't want to kind of like overdo it and drain yourself with these beautiful acts that you're bringing forth in the world. I like suddenly felt that the idea that I should read something to you from the winter solstice, which is the opposite solstice from the summer solstice. And so one sentence in particular stood out to me, and it says, especially in terms of this reading, which is about how do you let go of control and trust the universe. So there is a direct answer here. The more you can release control of what you think you need to do and sink into the void of unknowing, the better. In these spaces that miracles and magic touch us, and you are aligned with this medicine right now. So I feel like that that polar opposite kind of message is embodied in the summer solstice. There's a lot of like similarities, symmetries that happen in opposing energies, like summer solstice versus winter solstice, but they kind of manifest in different ways. And so I think that you're being called to not forget the lessons from the winter solstice, which is about letting yourself sink into the unknown, because magic happens there. So this might be like a really busy key time for you as things are blossoming, and you might want to gain control by doing more. But you're actually being encouraged to celebrate your success, take care of yourself, and don't forget the lessons from the winter solstice, which taught you to sink into the unknown and let the magic happen within the universe, in that unknown space. So I think you're also being called to remember that you're working together with the universe. So let the universe do its job in partnership with you. You don't have to do everything. You just do what your role is in this partnership, and that's for you to kind of figure out. And I think we'll have some answers coming through in your reading as well. Okay, so let's get that started. I didn't feel anything yet with the daisy besides the integration of the the yellow and the green, the heart chakra and the solar plexus chakra. So the key lesson, the key message there is the self-love, integrating the love of the self. I mean, that would literally translate into like self, the solar plexus chakra, and love, the heart chakra. So yeah, let's just say that self-love is your key message for how to let go of control and trust the universe. It's by loving yourself fully. So interesting. I actually want to bring in 2 decks. Okay, so let's start with our first open message about how can reading 4 let go of control and trust the universe more. What is the advice for them for doing that? And any messages of how self-love plays into that as well. Okay. Ooh, Princess of Wands. 10 of Swords. The Empress in reverse. Ace of Swords. And the 9 of Swords. So you've got a lot of swords going on in your energy, a lot of worries and overburdening, to the point where I would call this burnout, and kind of like hitting a rock bottom. I don't know if you're there already, but you're carrying a lot. You're carrying too much. It's not meant for you to carry all this. Like I said, let the universe take care of some of these things that are spinning in your head. You're like, it's all the unknowns of like, how's this gonna happen? What about that? And what if this happens? Like, those are the things that the universe is going to take care of. You just deal with what's in front of you on the physical. That's what your partnership is all about. With here the Ace of Swords and the 9 of Swords directly after, I feel like you'll get a new idea, and then your mind will just like run a hamster wheel with it. So it could be good and bad ideas. So oh, I have this new idea for how to move this project forward, and then your mind will start to work out all the details, and it'll just kind of like run you wild. Or it'll be like, oh my gosh, I'm afraid, like, what if this uncertainty happens? And then your mind will take over and, like, do the same thing, hamster wheel. And you have, like, so many hamster wheels going in your head at the same time. And, yeah, that's like, no, that's so counter to the energy you're being encouraged to enter, which is celebrating yourself and looking at your accomplishments. At this stage, you've hit a stage where you can let go of the gas a bit and celebrate, and it's kind of necessary for you to do that, to take a break before the next stage starts, because you're going to build again and up level, but you need that break. I mean, if you step back and look at yourself from the outside, you would recommend that to anyone, you know, that like you can't just keep spinning full speed, and expect to like not burn out. I really feel like if you might be American, or have like American values or energies or attitudes of like productivity, and just like don't stop, and you just keep working, you never sleep. Yeah, I don't, that just kind of came in, but or it might be that you kind of idealize American work ethic, and you're trying to embrace that because it's like your recipe for success. Yeah, this is specific to some people, like that. As an American, I can say that like it's totally toxic, and it will run you into a cycle of burnout and just total exhaustion. And I can guarantee you of this as an American being like conditioned in this way, that is the end result. And like that's what I'm seeing here. With the Empress in reverse, it's kind of like you're carrying the world on your shoulders. It's like you feel like you have to do everything, but you're being asked to remember that there is a team around you, whether you have a team in the physical or not. You do have a spirit team around you that can like take care of things. You are the Empress, which means you don't take out the trash, so to speak. You don't mop the floor. You don't like do the data entry. Like not taking away the dignity of those jobs, but like it's not your role. Like you need to stop trying to do everything. It's not meant to be done by one person. And you just focus on doing what you need to do, which is kind of like orchestrating everything, manifesting these beautiful things in the world. And look at the Empress, is like almost looks like a light worker, right? Holding like their scepter up, and there's like light emanating from it. This is your role. You're there, yeah, like a conductor, like conducting things, bringing light into the world, especially in a very like divine feminine loving way. It's interesting that divine feminine card came up, and we talked about the divine masculine. So I think there's some balance that you're being encouraged to embrace with that. I can't stop looking at these. They don't quite look like mushrooms, but they might be. I know mushrooms represent about like regeneration, death and rebirth. I'm not sure yet how that plays in. I feel a bit it connects to the burnout cycle that you've been like. Yeah, I think it's like you don't need to make it so extreme. I almost feel like you have normalized that for yourself. That you're like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna push myself to this deadline, and then I schedule in my burnout, and then you burn out, and then you're totally exhausted, and you're like your hormones are going crazy, your body's not adjusting. Like there's actually like real physical detriments to doing burnout, but it's like I feel like you've just accepted burnout as a reality of success, and you plan for it. This is kind of like encouraging you to like get out of that mentality and love yourself more than that. Like you're worth way more than burnout. That's the message coming in here. You're more valuable than the burnout. You don't have to put yourself to burnout. You're more precious. And then with the Princess of Wands, at this time, at this period, you're being asked to step down from like the King of Wands, step down from the Queen of Wands, step down even from the Knight of Wands, and go back to the beginning. Go back to exploring your passions, playing with them with childlike curiosity. This is what you're being called to do right now. Instead of taking that leadership, instead of stepping into staying within the leadership role, go back to the beginning when you were just thinking of this idea of this thing you started. It could be like a business or like a content channel. Go back to when you were playing with that idea and how exciting it was for you, and visioning these things, trying to like start pulling them together. That's the energy you need to be in right now, because like I said, you're going to build again on top of what you've already built, and you think that you need to stay in the commander seat, but now is the time for you to get out of that care, rest, and get back into that exploratory phase. Okay, so let's continue and let's see, get some more messages on how reading 4 can care for themselves, to trust the universe and let go of control. Um, any practical ways that they can do this? I think that's coming to mind. Practical advice. One more shuffle. Okay. Ooh, the sun. Fully just be in the summer. Be in the season that you're watching this in. Just fully embrace it. And yeah, live like a child again. I think if you have children, connect with your children. If you have like nieces and nephews, just like spend time with them to engage with that energy again. And just be in the moment, presencing yourself in the moment. The sun is here again. It's so strong. Be in the light. Like, as I said, you're a light worker, whatever you're doing. Let that light shine on you. Pull it in and restore yourself with that light. The Page of Wands. That's the same as here, the Princess of Wands. Wow. You're really getting that emphasized message. I have to tell you, rewind back to what I channeled here and listen to it again. Like, this is absolutely the practical steps for you to do, to go ahead to take care of yourself, let go of control, and trust the universe. Your hardships are ending. You don't have to worry about that. Ooh, you're totally in the flow. You're totally in command of what you're doing. You'll be able to make the difficult decisions if that's been on your mind. Just being you and just being you, that you're so tapped into your guidance. You see, like, you get the clarity all the time because you're a light worker. You communicate with your guidance pretty fluently. And so, like, this is not going to be a problem. This is the thing you're worried about, like all these things on your table, all the options, all the decisions to make. It's not going to be a problem. Do you see how these dogs are like the same dog? Yeah, it's like you also have like clairvoyant abilities. You can see. I think that's why you're so successful, because you're getting guidance and visions and you can like see what you need to do. You might be like have strong fire sign placements too. There's a lot of fire in here. Leo with the sun coming through strong as well. I feel like I want to get one more card. Ooh, the Magician. The Magician is like the ultimate manifester, and like you're really a leader, like bringing things into the world as a light worker and whatever you're doing in your work. But this is reminding you to rest. Even the Magician has to sleep and open. I feel like that's how you open yourself to the magic of new ideas as well. Like, sleep is so essential for your productivity as well. It's coming through. I mean, just in general, but especially for you, it's really coming through. I feel like I want to pull some oracle cards. I want to give you space to answer questions. I feel like I want you to give you space to answer 3 questions. I'll use 3 different decks to answer. So, you can, I'll warn you each time. You can think of all 3 of your questions now. You can pause the video if you want, or you can think of them one at a time. So maybe like the answer to the first question will help you ask the second question, and then we'll have a third question here as well. So pause the video if you need to, but I'm going to pull from this deck first to answer your first question. So what is an answer to pile 4's question? So you got Beagle, inquisitive, merry, affectionate. This is, again, feels like that soft, childlike energy of just, letting curiosity guide you, playing, enjoying, being merry, enjoying the little things. Like, I see the image of like a dog in a field, like just like chasing things that are there, just being in the moment. Affectionate towards yourself, loving yourself. I'm trying to see if there's something else important that will answer your question. If eagles, like the bird eagles, is a sign for you that's coming through in the name here. And something about the autumn. So if you're asking about timing, autumn months, which is like September, October, November. Okay, so I'm going to use this deck to answer the second question. So I'm going to start pulling now. Oh, you got 2 cards. So you have Crafty Crocodile, Boldness, Self-Discovery, Assurance, Ancient Keeper of Wisdom and Insight, Show me how to dive deep into my feelings. And Daring Dragonfly, Expression, Joy, Understanding, Glittering and Flittering Fairy of Light, Show me the way to my deepest desires. So there's definitely some kind of deep dive here in your answer, it's reminding me of the Magician card, like going into rest to be able to surface some kind of answer that you're looking for, or some kind of understanding that you're looking for. It's going to take a lot of rest for you to be able to dig that out and surface it. It's going to take a lot of self-care so that you can access your feelings and your emotions to get at that wisdom and insight. If you're more on the esoteric side and you're into this kind of stuff, you might want to do like a hypnotism, like Akashic Records type reading or past life journeying. That's coming through with these cards, so that could be an answer as well. And if you notice any of these symbols that are meaningful to you as an answer, then that's for you. What was the last deck? Oh yeah, there's this one. Okay, so I'm pulling now for the last question. And you have Stork 17. I'm actually going to read you this description. Change, transition, movement. So if you're asking about like an outcome to something, it sounds like change, transition, and movement. Like it could be physical movement to another office, to another building, to another place altogether. It says, it's time for a change. This new transition can take place literally or figuratively through personal growth. Either way, shake life up for movement. Movement is key here. It's interesting. It doesn't really look like that matches the description, right? So if there's something else you're seeing here too, like a library is coming through, a particular library that you're fond of. That I'm seeing one that has like steps and there's a lot of like brown. It's kind of older looking. Yeah. So I hope this helped with answering your questions. Again, your main message is how can you let go of control and trust the universe more? It's to embrace this childlike passion that you started out with. Go back to that. That's going to restore you in the way that's unique to you. Maybe you're not one of these people who like to go to the spa. You know, what's going to restore you, because you got this Page of Wands twice, is like going to a theme park and playing with your children or your nieces and nephews, and that's going to like connect you to the world again in a way that's outside of what you've been in, to help guide you away from burnout. I feel like your guides are trying to guide you away from burning out. They're trying to like they're trying to be like, you know, don't do our job for us, you know? Like you just go and play. Like, you already did your job. We've got the stuff, all the stuff that's on your head. We got this. They're like, they're not mad at you, but they're all, like, I get like a frustrated energy. Like, just like put the pen down. Like, just let it go. Yeah, so I don't know if that phrase is significant to you. You've been hearing that, just like just let it go. If you hear friends telling you that, like it's coming through your guides to them. Yeah, and now's the time to do this. Just like love yourself, care for yourself, because there's so much love around you, so much love for what you're doing. And it's time for you to take that love and shine it on yourself and just trust the universe that everything will be okay, because it will. It'll be so beautiful. I see the plans that the stork is holding. It's all been planned by you, before this lifetime with your guides. It's all going to be fine. And so I'm wishing you so much love on that journey, hoping you continue to work with love as well. Thank you for any likes, shares, subscribes you can offer. If you are drawn to another card in the pick a card section, then I'll see you in that reading. If not, I will see you next time.